All right, welcome. I'm Mrs. Bezemek, and I'm here to introduce you here remotely to introduce you to our Language Arts 10 class. Now, I say our because this class is team taught, which, as you see down at the bottom, just means we're both highly qualified, content area, and then a resource specialist. Her name, the other teacher's name is Mrs. Fullmer. So A Fullmer at rochester.k12.mi.us if you need to reach either of us. Mine is right there, as you can see. But it just makes it that much easier for all the kids. So 2 teachers to go around, and we're here to help any of them. A little bit about me before we get into the specifics of what this class looks like this year. I went to Alma College. I graduated in 2006 and started teaching right away. So this is my 15th year teaching, 13th year at Adams. My husband and I have 2 kids of our own, a third grade son and first grade daughter, both learning from home as well. So I feel you on that. It's not the easiest. And then I got my master's. I completed my master's in 2011 in English at OU. And then just in April, we welcomed a new puppy named Leia. She's our quarantine puppy, a little Portuguese water dog. Okay, LA10. I apologize, it's a lot of text on the screen. All you really need to know is that it is a literature class. Don't be confused. The online textbook says elements 11 or something like that. Typically, interestingly enough, American literature in a lot of districts is taught in 11th grade. Our district has chosen to push it to 10th grade. What I love about that in particular, though, is that it's running parallel to their American history class. So when they're learning, typically right within a few weeks, usually, whether they're in regular U.S. history or AP U.S. history, within a few weeks of learning something in their history class, they're also touching on it in LA10, which I think is kind of cool. We can draw a lot of those connections. So we started just this past week actually talking about Native American literature, but we really kind of get heavy with the Puritans and the Founding Fathers, and then we work all the way through the late 20th century. We do talk about the history because we talk about what was inspiring the writers, but then we get really deep into the themes and the characters and the tone and the mood and all of those literary terms that they've been practicing. We really start to apply really heavily in this class. They find those links. So clearly it's a lot of reading, but they do some writing as well. We're not just going to take the year off from writing. Typically we try to get vocab in every few weeks. We're not sure how that will look just yet in remote learning, but clearly they're going to be learning new vocab, and their e-textbook is really wonderful about highlighting new vocabulary for them as well. And as they do their writing and practice that, they're touching on grammar as well. For texts, they have their online textbook. When and if we are in person again, they have a class set of that textbook in class. The Crucible is, interestingly enough, in that textbook. So unless they want a separate one to write in, which actually I already did have a student ask about, it's in their textbook. And then second semester, they read The Great Gatsby and Of Mice and Men. So again, we provide them, but if anyone wants a copy to write in, that's okay as well. Overall expectations when it comes to work, I always just tell kids when it comes to late work or, can I turn this in still? Just ask. It's always better to ask because a lot of it depends on the situation, the type of assignment, how long they've known the due date, if we've gone over it together, etc. A couple other things, we use a website called turnitin.com to check for plagiarism. So sometimes formal essays will be turned into that. So just be listening for that if anyone's working on that at home. Non-negotiables are used for essays. We can talk about that when we get there. Article of the week will be something that we try to tackle when we're back in person. I might see if we can kind of cross that bridge remotely depending on how long this lasts. It just gets them involved with reading some current events and writing their perspective It's more informal writing, and it's shorter, but it's a nice kind of quick reflection that gets them doing some critical thinking on some more contemporary reading. And then, like I said, vocab. We kind of got to work out the kinks and figure out how that works, but we might be doing vocab quizzes. If and when we're back in person, that would probably be like bi-weekly as well. Extra credit, this is on the syllabus, so I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but I do handle this pretty uniquely, I think. I'm not going to ever hand them like a crossword puzzle or anything to do for extra credit. It's just not how I like to do things. But if a student ever feels nervous, or maybe he or she didn't do very well on a test or a quiz, and you just want that grade to be padded a little bit, anyone can come ask me for extra credit whenever. The only time I say no is if there's a bunch of missing assignments or there was poor citizenship, and I put the punctuation there because it's usually pretty rare, or if it's the last week of a marking period or semester, because it's not just like a super quick fix. So just remember that if anyone's ever stressed or worried about the actual number grade, can come ask for extra credit. I'll find something pertaining to what we're doing. This might be in flux, right? Depending on when we go back and the potential for what exams may or may not look like. But in a regular semester, this would be 40, 40, 20. That might change. We will let you know. Admin will let you know as soon as we hear something. Participation is key, though. At the end of a marking period, I kind of always look down and scroll and see if anybody's right on that border of a grade or something. And if it's someone I can remember who was always participating and helping and offering to read and working well with peers, and sometimes I'll bump up a few points to get them to that next level. While we're remote for sure, and probably when we go back, we'll still utilize Google Classroom. It's working out really well. The kids seem to be catching right on and getting in there, and it's linking to Synergy. It's really great. All the weekly plans are on there. They're submitting work on there. A couple of them need to practice hitting the button that says turn in or mark is done. The Zoom links are posting beautifully. There's information on there about how to access the ebook. So if there's ever a kink in that, the exact sign-in information is on that. And the Remind 101 information is also posted. I will send out sometimes like time-sensitive information on there, or if we're meeting at a different time that day, I'll remind them via text with Remind 101. Parents can sign up for that, but I don't expect that you want all my messages. So I hope I was able to cover some of the things you were maybe curious about or wondering. More than anything, though, please just know that you can reach out to me at any time or Mrs. Fullmer at any time and ask us questions. And the beauty is in the remote schedule, I suppose, we have the Wednesdays now and the before school and after school with a chunk of time where we can meet with these kids. We're happy to Zoom one-on-one and help them if they're struggling, particularly with the reading or the writing or something like that, which I know a lot of kids sometimes need a little bit of extra one-on-one help. And that's what we're here for. Anyway, take care and thank you.